Hi, my name is Anna Clark, and in this video I am going to be covering the clipping practical. So to start, clipper safety is super important. When you're clipping, during clipping, you need to check your blades at all times to make sure they're not too hot, because if they get too hot, they do get hot, and they get very hot. If they're too hot for you to touch, they're too hot to be on the horse. They get hot and they can burn the horse, and that can ruin the experience for the horse, making the horse traumatized and never wanting to get clipped ever again. You also need to make sure your blades are sharp at all times. When they dull, they start to pinch the horse's hair off, basically. Instead of cutting it, it no longer cuts it the way it should, smoothly. Blade care is also super important. When you are using your clippers, there is things such as the Cool Care spray, and this spray that you can spray on the blades of your clippers. It helps not only cool the clippers, but it is a disinfectant as well as a lubricant. When you're done with your clippers, you need to usually run them through blade wash. So you have a little container and you put a little bit of blade wash in the bottom of it, and you kind of turn your clippers on and run your clippers through that blade wash. That kind of lubricates them and cleans it, as well as putting some oil on the blades. This will help the blades stay sharper longer. When you're clipping, you also need to make sure that the wires and the cords for your clippers and your extension cords are nowhere that the horse can step on. Also nowhere that your horse can get it in his mouth or anywhere. Don't lay the cords on top of the horse, anywhere that electricity can touch the horse. So for trimming the muzzle and eyes and the bridle path, it's different per seat. Me being a dressage keeper, we don't trim the muzzle hairs or the guard hairs on the eyes or the muzzle. We do trim the guard hairs on their chin. We just kind of clean it up a little bit. We don't clip close to the skin. We just kind of trim up the stray away hairs. We do clip the bridle path about only as long as the bridle, so it's about 1.5 inches or 2 fingers for me. My hands are pretty small, so I have to do about 3 fingers per seat. Like I said, it's different per seat. So Westerner, saddle seat, and hunter jumper does trim the eyes and the muzzle, but it also depends on your seat instructor. Trimming the legs is also per instructor. In dressage, we just trim the fetlock hairs, so we don't want that little bit of fetlock hair coming down. We just trim it off. Not very close to the skin. We use 10 blades at all times. Sometimes for showing, people use 40 blades for the bridle path, but it depends on your seat instructor. For trimming ears, in dressage we just trim, we do the taco is what we call it. So we just fold the ear in half and trim off the any hair that's sticking outside of the ear. A lot of seats, most seats do trim off all the hair inside of the ear. When you are trimming the hair inside of the ear, if you choose to do so, it is best to clean the ear with Listerine. That gets all the dirt and grime out and keeps your blades cooler longer, as well as the blades sharper longer. When you're body clipping, there is many ways to body clip, as well as many body clipping designs, I guess. There's the trace clip, the blanket clip, the full body clip, all kinds of things like that. And that is mostly, the majority of that is when you need to be checking the heat of your blades to make sure they're not too hot. Some instructors choose to, depends on what clip you're deciding to do. Some will trim all the leg hair off, and some will leave just kind of a point where the leg meets the body. Some also decide that the horses don't like their face being clipped, and so they'll decide not to clip the face, and they'll just leave it at the base of the head. And then when you're body clipping and you clip over the top of the horse where the tail meets, where the pole meets the hindquarters of the horse, we leave a triangle right at the top of the tail. that ensures that we're not cutting any tail hair off the horse, because we don't want to do that. I think that is all for clipping. Thank you. When you are clipping a horse anywhere on the body, doesn't matter if it's ears or a body clipping, you want to make sure you're standing away from the horse. So you don't want to go stand underneath the horse, or you don't want to stand right directly in front of the horse. That will spook them. If you have a horse that does not like clipping, does not like the sound of the blades, does not like the sound of anything, does not like the feeling of the vibration along, you can consider sedation. Just for a quick clip, we try not to body clip a horse with sedation. We can, but you need to have multiple people on that horse at one time so that it gets done as fast as possible, so we don't have to have that horse under sedation longer than it needs to be. When clipping the horse, if the horse that doesn't like being clipped, you can also choose to clip a horse with scissors. You can clip fetlock hairs with scissors. You can clip the bridle path with scissors if need be. If a horse does not like clipping, you can also decide to use manual restraints as well.